terrain in our hobby. Now these kits have always been fantastic at elevating the battlefield and really making our games more immersive and more fun. And terrain's come a long way since back when Warhammer and Warhammer 40k was originally done, and we're going to take a look at one of those kits. Hello and welcome to Merlin's Miniatures. We are taking a look into the past today at scenery, and more specifically a couple of bits of scenery. This is the Imperial Guard Command Tower that came out in the 90s, and it's a mixture of cardboard and plastic. So we're going to take a look at this, we're going to open it up, we're going to try and build it and see how it goes. Now, I am no expert on Warhammer scenery or terrain or the history of it, but I was quite excited to have a little look and to see how we sort of build this, because growing up I didn't have these kits. I was making stuff out of cups and, you know, paper mache and a bit of poster paint. So this is quite cool to see, and it's a really interesting mix of the whole plastic and cardboard. Upon getting it out and having a quick look through the instructions, it all seemed pretty simple. Pop out the numbers, they're all, you know, numerically done over 6 sheets. Put these little bits of plastic together. In hindsight, if you were doing this like properly, you might want to pre-paint these first, but it was all quite straightforward. Now, until I started trying to put it together, now some of the cardboard is obviously, you know, nearly 20 years old now, so it isn't in the best condition, but still we press on. And it was super fiddly, but super satisfying to try and get this thing together. And I may have stuck my fingers together just a few times. So I had a little look online, and this kit came out in 1998, but I wanted to see what else was available around that time. And it does seem that these sort of plastic cardboard hybrid kits were all the rage, and you sort of got this kit. There was another bunker kit, which is the image I put in the intro to the video, and there was a few others that I'll put on the screen now. And as far as I can tell, the only major plastic scenery kit at the time was the Mighty Fortress for Warhammer Fantasy, which was an absolutely monster bit of kit that would pretty much cover you for a big siege battle on your tabletop. Also, for those of you who wanted to know what was happening in 1998 outside of the hobby, Google was founded in this year. Also, the FIFA World Cup was won by France. What other amazing things could I tell you? This was the year Saving Private Ryan came out. Now back to this kit. It's become more and more fiddly and way more time consuming than I originally thought. But it has been quite rewarding getting this thing together, and it does have a really nostalgic feel when you're building something like this, especially with the instruction manual, because that does throw me straight back to the 90s from the other instruction booklets I used to get whenever I bought any miniatures. As always, if you are enjoying the content, please do consider subscribing, commenting, liking, sharing, all those great things to help the channel grow, because it is greatly appreciated. So with this kit nearly assembled, I can say it's actually a lot sturdier than I thought. Yes, I'm using a hell of a lot of super glue and some activator to really make it rigid, because I don't want this thing falling apart on me. Do you guys have any memories of building any kits like this? Would you like to see more affordable kits like this brought back compared to our modern plastic ones? So I did say we had a few things to look at, and this is the other piece of scenery I wanted to show, and that is the Chapel of Sanctuary. Now this 40k bit of scenery I believe came out in 2002. I believe it was a limited edition. And it's quite unique, not only because it's a big old lump of resin with this gorgeous sort of plastic stained glass window, but on the bottom it has this lovely felt design, or base rather, and it says that it was sculpted by David Andrews, which is quite nice because, you know, the sculptor is getting credit for this beautiful bit of terrain. But what an amazing kit this would have been to pick up back in the day to really showcase your miniatures when taking pictures and on the battlefield. So what did you think of the Imperial Guard Command Tower? It was quite interesting to put together. If I'm honest, I'm not a big fan of putting together cardboard kits, and I can see why they don't do that anymore, even though it's probably quite cost effective for us as hobbyists. Now I'm going to try and just spin this in front of the camera for a bit and let you see it and all my mistakes and errors in putting this thing together. Thank you once again for checking out this Merlin's Miniatures video, and hopefully we will see you on the next one.